Hey guys, I'm Alastair from Trail and Kale, and this is my Brooks Ghost 16 review. I'm just a regular guy who absolutely loves running and reviewing the latest running shoes and gear. My 5K PR is 20 minutes, which I'm always trying to beat. I've run countless ultra marathons around the world, and my favourite distance is the cheeky half marathon. Road or trail, I love running on them both. I'm not afraid to let you know when a running shoe is crap, but also you're definitely going to know when one blows me away. Either way, our independent running shoe reviews are always 100% honest, reliable, and hopefully you'll come away from this video having learned something new. So if you caught my Brooks Ghost 15 review last year, then you'll know I was generally pretty happy with the shoe overall. There were a couple of issues that I didn't really get on with, and that was kind of a personal thing for me. That was the drop of 11mm. That said, I only really notice high drops affect my form when it comes to about 10 kilometers or more. Other than that, I absolutely love the shoe. It's a super comfortable daily trainer. So who is the Ghost 16 targeted at? Well, it's still very much a daily trainer, just a very nice cushioned, comfortable running shoe to bag those easy miles. What's new with the Brooks Ghost 16 then? Well, it's definitely lighter, and there seems to be a slightly more secure fit, and it is slightly more breathable, although not the most breathable running shoe out there. So definite improvements, and I have noticed them on the run as well. Time to go over some of the key statistics of the Brooks Ghost 16. Firstly, they cost $140. Keep watching to the end of this review, I'll let you know if I think they're worth that price tag. How do they fit and how do they feel then? Well, they're true to size, so I'd recommend going with your usual sizing. They're one of Brooks' most popular running shoes for a reason, and that's because they're just so comfortable to step into and just get your easy miles in. They're cushioned underfoot and they're cushioned in the upper as well. Plenty of cushioning around the collars and the heel counter. And that's why people absolutely love these shoes. It's how they feel when you slip them on. When it comes to stability, they are neutral, so there's no additional built-in support. So if you do have pronation issues, you might want to go with one of Brooks's GTS running shoes. That stands for go-to support, for anyone who doesn't know. And a recommendation on that part would be probably the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23. If that sounds like you, definitely go check out that review. The drop is now 12mm, it was 11mm, and I wasn't particularly happy with that high drop on the previous version. And it's gone up 1mm. Now it doesn't feel like it's any higher of a drop, I just don't like high drops when it comes to running over 10 kilometers. I really find I start noticing that more aggressive forward-leaning stance, mostly in my knees, so it kind of limits me on how far I can run in a shoe. But for a daily trainer, if I was to wear these for 5K runs, daily, then these are absolutely fine and they're an absolute joy to run in. If you do need a daily trainer that allows you to run further than that, say you want to run 10 kilometers each day, then stick around, I've got some recommendations for you at the end of this review. They weigh 9.6 ounces, which is lighter than the Brooks Ghost 15, which weighed 10.1 ounces. That's a 5% reduction in weight for all the mathematicians out there. A little bit on the midsole then, it is using nitrogen injected DNA Loft version 3 midsole foam, and it's super cushioned and it's actually more lightweight than the previous version. That's how this shoe has actually managed to drop 5%. So yeah, very cushioned and responsive as well. Quickly on the outsole, it does have a segmented crash pad. What that means is there's more flex. If you had rubber compound all the way along your outsole, if you didn't have these segmented breaks, then the shoe's going to be less flexible and tougher. So anyone who needs flex in their shoes, they like to allow their feet to flex more, then you're really going to love this update to the outsole. And finally, alternate versions for this shoe, it is available in a wide and extra wide, and also a narrow version. So if you do have narrow feet or extra wide feet, go for one of those versions. I've been enjoying a few runs in the Brooks Ghost 16 already, and the biggest thing that stands out for this shoe for me is just how comfortable it is. And I think that is the unique selling point for Brooks. It's a reason it's one of Brooks's most popular running shoes. So when you slip your feet into these shoes, the upper is just insanely cushioned and comfortable. But it's also supportive, it kind of hugs your feet, and it gives that pillow-like sensation as though you're stepping into a cloud. If you take a closer look, you can see the collar and the heel counter towards the rear. is all super cushioned. Look how thick it is. And that's the same for the tongue as well. That said, the tongue does have a new shape. And you can see it's kind of pointy towards the end. Now, I actually preferred the previous design to this tongue. I felt like it wrapped around the top of my foot better. That's not to say this shoe doesn't give a good fit, because it does. I just prefer the design of the Brooks Ghost 15 in that respect. That comfort from the upper is further enhanced by having a slightly more breathable upper. Now, it's not the most breathable upper out there. I'm based in Northern California. The temperature is really heating up. So I get to see if trainers do have good breathability or not. This isn't the most breathable running shoe, but that does mean if you do live somewhere a bit cooler and you do like to run throughout the colder seasons, then this upper will actually keep your feet a little bit warmer. So there are pros and cons to having a very breathable running shoe. And actually, this is a daily trainer, so you're not going to be really hammering it on your runs in this shoe. So your feet won't get as hot as, say, if you were running tempo runs, intervals, or even racing. So it doesn't have to be as breathable. The lacing system on the upper is also very nice and traditional. It just works. And that's something that's been consistent with the Brooks line for a long time. Everything just works. You know what you're getting. It's a reliable shoe, and that's, again, the popularity, that's where it comes from. People just stick with the Ghost they know. And I totally get that. You know what you're getting with the Ghost. And it's very affordable as well. That brings me to my second point of thing I really like about this shoe. At $140, that's a really attractive price point. And that opens up this shoe to a wide variety of people just because it's so much more affordable. And I really like how Brooks do that. There's so many expensive shoes out there. Some of them aren't even that good. So I really like Brooks because they do put out very consistent running shoes at very good prices. And then I guess the third thing of note would be that segmented crash pad on the outsole. You really do notice the extra flex in this shoe. I mean, I'm really not putting much pressure on this, and I'm getting a good amount of flex, but also a good amount of energy return from it as well. And that's coming from the midsole foam, because there's no plate in this shoe, but you do have a very nice cushioned responsive DNA Flash version 3 midsole foam. That's where that's coming from. And the flex, of course, if you didn't see it before, there is a section all the way across here that doesn't have rubber compound. So rubber compound is going to be less flexible. So it kind of allows the midsole to do its thing at that point. And you can clearly see that is where the shoe is flexing. So that design is working. And you really notice it on your run, especially if you want to go for a nice quick cadence, which is what you should be doing when you're running. If you're not familiar with cadence and why it's so important, definitely read our article that we wrote on trailandkale.com. Hopefully you'll find it really informative, and it will help you target that 180 cadence, which is the holy grail of running cadence. But it will also explain why you should be doing that. As promised then, here are some alternative daily trainers that you might also want to consider. First off, you've got the Nike Pegasus 41. That's currently in testing, so that shoe is somewhere on the other side of the house. Next up, you've got the New Balance 1080 version 13. That's these running shoes here. Awesome shoe, extremely cushioned and extremely comfortable. Very similar shoe, also worth considering. The Asics Gel Nimbus 26. The New Balance Rebel version 4, which Helen is currently running in right now, so I don't have that shoe on me. And finally, the Hoka Clifton 9. I told you I'd have some alternatives here, didn't I? Are they worth the money then? Are they worth that $140 price tag? Well, absolutely yes. If you're familiar with the Brooks Ghost line, then these are going to be just a continuation for you, with some updates in weight reduction, comfort, and support in the upper. You really can't go wrong with this shoe if you absolutely love the Ghost range already. Anyone outside that pool of people, yes, they're still definitely going to be worth it for you. If you're not used to running in a higher drop, then I wouldn't worry as long as you're running anything under 10-kilometer distance. But for $140, you get a really nice cushioned, flexible, and comfortable daily trainer. So I highly recommend giving these a go if you're looking for your next daily trainer. Well, thanks for watching this Brooks Ghost 16 review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to this channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. And don't forget to ring that bell, that will notify you as soon as new running shoe reviews drop. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.